What's up? We did it again. Another week of Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson. I'm joined by Tori Shulman. Loving the fit today.
Thanks so much, guys.
You look great. You are glowing.
Thank you so much. It's in my new vitamin C serum.
All right. Well, it's working. We have my girl, Erica.
Talk about glowing.
Erica, how you feeling?
I'm just going to apologize in advance for raw dogging this podcast.
Oh,
I got clear and brilliant, so my face has been fried. I have no makeup on. This is a raw dog podcast.
Okay.
Yes.
I subscribe to two of those.
You can interpret that a couple of ways. Yeah.
Don't make me laugh.
It's all right sometimes.
What happened? What do you...
Explain what clear and brilliant.
So clear and brilliant is like micro needling, where they, put the needles in your face, but it's like a 16 prong with a laser. So it goes 3 layers deep into your skin, and then basically your skin sloughs off and you get like brand new skin.
This sounds like how they get information out of you, like the government.
Yeah, like
It's
they
almost
want
like
us to show off your
waterboarding,
stuff.
except after you look great.
Like that's
What did I get that one time?
something wrong.
You got dermaplane.
So how's that different
no,
than what
he
you
got the laser. He got it. Remember
We
when
got
his
the
face
laser.
Mine was late because I was like,
I think you got microneedled.
it was rough.
It
go.
looks like
Yeah.
a mini shocker that like you would use for self-defense. Like what's the little electrode
like a-
thing?
Like a
a
cattle
cattle?
prod?
Cattle prod thing. Where the little electricity comes out, you can hear it.
Oh yeah, you could smell
you
it.
get
Yes,
it's
what
almost
is
like
that?
a tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, I
it
got
hurts.
mine and I looked like not like you.
It'd be a problem if you
I
did.
was like going home and I was like, with an ice pack. I was like, why do women do this to themselves?
But didn't
Yeah,
you think
that's
you look
great.
good after?
Yeah, after. But now,
That's why
now it's
women-
back to the old catcher's mitt. You know what I mean? So it works for a little bit.
It works. I disagree with the catcher's comment. You are a beautiful man, Mr. Jeffrey Schroeder,
Thank you,
joining us
buddy.
again. What's going on with you? What's going on with the Fam Bam?
Nothing. We could jump into it, but we went to the Broncos game this
Yes.
weekend. Boys' first game. They even got like a little pin. Broncos first game.
That's so
We
great.
had so much fun. So much fun. I made like sandwiches. We tailgated a little bit. Some other a group of friends that were his teachers actually went. They gave us the tickets. And then we went. They were losing. And I'm like, they just got to hang in there. And then they started winning the Broncos. And Lawson was high-fiving everybody. Like, we were just having the best time ever. It was such a great like family event. And the Broncos won. It
This
was
is
great.
a big issue that I think will affect a lot of parents who no longer live in their original home city. Do you raise your boys as Broncos fans or Bears fans?
Well, I want to raise them Bears, but for some reason, Lawson is a diehard Miami Dolphins fan. I think it's
Wait,
because
for no reason?
the colors, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Lawson or Leighton could care less.
Right.
So he's like, just give me Dolphin stuff. He doesn't care what's going on. He had like his elf in his pocket, and he's like, look at that. You know? So he don't care.
Isn't it
But
great,
It's
the
so
stuff-
great how different they are. But it was just, I had such a great time. I'm like, man, we got free tickets. We were lucky, but I wish. Not everybody could afford to bring a family of 4 to a game, and it's like, it was just so much fun. The atmosphere, the camaraderie, it was just a great time.
Who did they play against?
They beat
The Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis Colts, that's right. Yeah.
Peyton Manning's old team.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I know.
Yes.
And so are the Broncos.
Oh.
Yes.
She just knew one player, and she's doing the 6 degrees like Kevin Bacon.
Oh my God.
Peyton Manning was on that field.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool, Jeff.
Yeah, it was fun. How about you, Al? What have you been up to?
Oh, man, just chilling, working around the house. You guys know I have a shoe line coming out soon. So I've been working on that. It looks like maybe got my first investor. So lots of
nice.
big things. And last night I opened up, and I am tonight opening up for Hannibal at Comedy Works. So I'm going to be jetting
Why
up out
don't
of here.
you ever
Oh, that's
tell
awesome.
us
I will
when
show you
you're
the text he
performing?
sent. If you knew my homie Hannibal, he texts you like, "Hey, popping into Denver. You around tonight?" I was talking to TK, our DJ, and TK was like, he was just at home in Milwaukee, and Hannibal's like, "Can you be in Denver tomorrow?" And he's like, "I guess."
That's how some people are.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm going to kind of believe you, but I kind of don't, because I had this theory the first couple of years that we knew each other that you never told us when you were doing stand-up because you were talking about us.
Oh, did you really have that theory? No,
I was like, he's using us as material. That's why he's so mysterious
what if
about
you
when he's
just
performing.
went and it was just an S
Tory
talking session?
I've had that happen before. I went on a date with a comic and I went to a show.
Do I know this comic?
Yes, you do.
All right.
And there was a
We're
solid.
all like, brrrr.
There was a solid amount of time that it was about the date that we had gone on. And yeah, and I was sitting there thinking like, didn't he have material before he got to Denver?
You are the material.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he had material.
Well,
yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm just terrible at self-promotion. Let's get started. And I'm glad we could laugh a little bit because...
Well, this is live, so
Yeah.
if you're in the Denver area, get out to Comedy Works.
Yes, it's Comedy Works 7 o'clock tonight, but I think it's sold out.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wait outside and stalk out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just stalk me.
Or as Damiana says, or is Al nervous to perform for his siblings? We've all seen Al perform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Yeah,
Amazing
and
job.
to Damiana, it's not my fan bam here. You know what it is, Damiana? It was when I first started doing shows in Cleveland, and I had a much more adult, dirty act, and I had to talk about all this, and my mom and my Aunt Valerie are in the front row, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be talking about my balls in about 40 seconds, so that's going to happen. This is my act. I got to
did
do
that
it.
too. I did that at the Comedy Store. I was like, oh no, my dad's partner walked in a suit, sat front row not knowing, and I'm like, my blowjob joke's coming up next.
Yeah,
I was
it's-
like, hi, Mr. Breyer. See you too.
It's for real.
It's so
If
bad.
you know a stand-up, just 4 rows back.
Back,
Please,
back,
we don't want to
back.
look at your face. You saw us when we
in
were
the
little.
back.
It's just weird. All right, and honestly, I'm glad we could laugh a little bit because, for as much as it's weird, anytime we cover a school shooting, I think about you, Jeff, because obviously Sam is very proactive, but with you, I feel like you harness the palpable anger that a lot of Americans do, along with the sadness. And this unfortunate shooting that, as far as I know, was done by a 15-year-old girl, which really kind of jumped off the page for me in Madison, Wisconsin. Just really, it was weird. It took me back to my DBL days when you would know in the morning meeting we had to talk about it and we could all feel it because it's just such a visceral thing. So, Tori, do you have any other information before we get into this?
It's called the Abundant Life Christian School, and it's in Madison, Wisconsin. Just so you guys know, I'm not going to name the shooter that the 4 of us or 5 of us have agreed never to do that. But she opened fire. There was an injured teacher, and the major thing that came out of this is that a 2nd grader was the one that had to call 911. So a 2nd grader around 11 a.m. on Monday reported the school shooting. She was this pupil at the school. She killed a teen student and a teacher, leaving 6 others injured and 2 are in critical condition. She herself died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They're investigating what motivated her to carry out the attack. But the little boy that called said, I'm just very, very scared, and I want to know why she's doing this, what the shooter did. So very, very different to have a female shooter. That's very rare.
That's what really kind of jumped off. And I know the initial response would be, well, who cares what gender they were? But it's, and I'm not trying to be funny here. It's like when there's a black serial killer, that's not the typical, or female serial killer. They
Right.
made a movie about it. There's so few. So Erica, what did you think, obviously when you heard this, and then did you think anything when you found out that this was a young woman?
Nothing, unfortunately, after the last 7 years of reporting on these things, nothing shocks me anymore. It's like, it's always kind of in the back of your mind, like, what's going to happen, when it's going to, like, you think about it. Like, I think when I go out to different places, like, I'm constantly in my head thinking about where the exits are. Like, I'm running these scenarios through my head, and I think a lot of other people do too, because it's just so commonplace. So, of course, like, it's like, how many thoughts and prayers are we going to do before something changes? And I mean,
I do want to.
What am I supposed to say?
I do want to update you guys too. It was a 2nd grade teacher that called. They did want to correct that, and thank you guys for letting us know. But thoughts and prayers are something that a representative, someone said, you can fix that, and he said, we tried, but the other side said thoughts and prayers are enough when children die. So I just feel like I have the same responses, Erica, that I'm just completely flat. I have no affect whatsoever, and if our politicians don't want to do anything, I don't know what we do.
Well, could they do anything at this point, Jeff? Because, I mean, we're talking about Wisconsin, and that area, being close to it in Illinois. My parents met there at, Wisconsin Law School. I spent many weekends up there. It sounds so corny to say, but it's like a lovely part of the country. I really have a weird affection for that part of the country. and I have a lot of friends from there. But Wisconsin, that's hunting country, bruh.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? Tell every hunter in Wisconsin in that area that they need to turn their guns in? I don't think that's realistic at this point. It seems like a lot of the child shooters that we have that are under 18 or even close to 18, they get the gun from the house rather than somebody waiting till the 18th birthday and getting almost like we got our driver's license when we were 16. They get their weapon on their 18th birthday the first minute the gun store opens. That's a different kind of animal we're dealing with. So are you kind of like Tori and Erica where, you know, you're a little bit flat but also apoplectic about the idea of anything really changing?
Yeah, I don't know how much it comes down to the government anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
I used to think there was a side or one side wanted guns, and that still might be true. But how do you prevent mental health? How do you prevent someone who's insane from doing that? That's not a political stance. That's an insane point of view. So we have to stop it at the root. We have to figure out red flags. What this person has a bag of hamsters in their backpack. What is the punishment for that? What do you do with a person like that? I don't know, but that's where I think we need to start looking. Now, I didn't even know about this story because we're not doing, I'm not doing what I usually do.
Well, it wasn't as big as I thought it would be. It was like the third thing down on CNN.
I agree.
Like
Well,
the fourth thing
you know
down
the
on
reason
TMZ.
why.
Was it the weekend?
How many casualties were there?
It's always, if it's not over 3, it's not really considered a mass shooting, which is
Wow.
insane that I just said that sentence. And it's not covered the same
Well,
way.
I'm glad the person killed themselves, so I'm happy about that.
She also had a manifesto and was radicalized, is what they're saying.
Oh, I hope they
online.
burn that and nobody knows why, or except the people responsible or need to look into that. Because there is no
agree with you.
empathy anymore. That guy who shot the United Healthcare worker, there's someone's family. But now it's like a lot of people are like, man, I don't have any money either. I'm kind of glad that happened. I'm not saying that's the case. Now it's like, if a guy messes around, I don't care if you're joking around or not, or you take a gun out in the school, nobody cares. Open fire on that person and murder them. I'm for the death penalty. I'm for firing first if you're on public ground. And it's so sad. I go to pick up my kids all the time now, which is great being out of work. But it's like I see the security guard. There's another armed guard right there. It's very organized. Everyone knows what they're doing. You're not allowed to cross a certain street once the bell rings. It's like everyone's kind of organized. And if something went down, people are ready to go. And I think that's our answer. People now are starting to take things in their own hands, whether it's their health care, which I'm not saying go out and start killing everybody, or it's their child's safety. People are starting to take matters in their own hands. And I don't know if that's a good thing. It's definitely not good for the government. But people are just starting to be like, you aren't helping me, and I don't even have a political side. I'm going to start doing things on my own, and we'll figure this out after. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
There was another spray paint just to speak of. Remember the bullet casings in the Brian Thompson United case had deny, defend, depose written on them. Someone spray painted that on a big wall recently, I think today. But the sense of vigilante justice and action is very much coming to fruition.
Well, they had to take a bunch of that handmade arts and crafts down off of Etsy, apparently, because people were making
Is that right?
deny, depose, defend, or whatever.
wow.
They were making Etsy content. And again, people, with agendas either way will go on their YouTube shows and say this is wrong or this is right. But the bottom line is that it is. That content to purchase is there because that's what this country does. It takes your feelings and it sells it back to you. You wouldn't have been able to sell those 2 weeks ago. There's a reason that it's because it's resonating somewhere in the culture. You can hear it in what Jeff is saying. You can hear it when people are like, I don't have any health care. So, our upstairs neighbor is a nurse and my dad is a plumber and we swap out. She helped, the people will take care of themselves as they always will when the government lets them down. The problem with that, and it would be a problem in the future, is when the government does need some kind of public action one way. Hey, we need you guys to mask up, or we need you guys to hold your cans for, something. We're saving it for something. That the government won't have any power over the people because it hasn't done anything for the people.
If they told everybody to mask up now, they would
It's
get
a
half the
joke.
country.
It would be a joke.
Nobody would listen because all the false information. We don't know what happened, or I'm not saying it's right or wrong. We try to do what we as American people to get it right in the beginning. But because of the government and the distrust, and I think people, even if they knew it would kill them, they'd be like, I'm not putting it on because the government told me to. And you'd never get the organization that we had 4 or 5 years ago.
I'd agree with that.
Right. Well, I mean,
I think people are just tired and they're just
But
taking
there's
it
something so scary
into
about
their
like,
own hands.
and I keep thinking of Gotham City, and I've said this before. Of like the citizens taking law and order into their own hands. There's I mean, and then I mean, I'm not bringing it in, but the drones that are going over New Jersey and New York and all that stuff. You guys know all about that stuff.
I don't know what's
I've
happening.
been looking at that, but
Oh
I
my
don't know what
God.
I'm looking at.
There's this enormous amount of drones over New York and New Jersey, so much so that the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, said to the government, it's interfering with their airspace. And they're huge. They're like really, really big. And no one knows. Trump had to go on the air the other day and say, we know what it is. We don't want to tell you what it is, but we know what it is.
If I had a drone, I would.
They
if I had a
do.
drone,
Now
I'd fly it
so
up
now
there
they are.
with a camera.
So now they are. So now we're
So
getting,
why don't we know?
and now the citizens are driving their drones and attacking the other drones. So I'm like, now we're having like robot AI fights with
Wait,
like,
how are they
citizens.
attacking them?
The other
mean
drones
bumping
will,
into
yeah, they
them?
try and slam,
Yeah.
like
So they're
slam
playing
into
bumper
them.
cars in the air.
I don't-
The world's going crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
I mean, but this is a sideshow for I feel like issues that for the first time ever, we could be having serious conversations about our health care, and maybe the idea of putting health care for a universal health care out there again won't be shot down as quickly because a lot of people are realizing this is at least one subject, really the only one I can think of, in which deep red and deep blue are in agreement that, hey, Jeff, you were talking
that's
about
not
this
true.
too, in terms of,
That's not true.
oh, talk to me.
Well, people who needed health care, affordable health care, voted against affordable health care. So it's not true that red and blue can come together on health care. Also, when we're talking about universal health care, then there's a whole contingent of the demographic that feels as though that's government assistance, it's government handout. Remember when when COVID first started, and I was on the air telling people to file for unemployment because they had been laid off and they had already paid into it.
Right.
And I got so many people that were like, I don't need, or I would never do that. I would never take a handout from the government. You worked and you paid into your employment insurance, and you're not going to reap the benefits of something that you put into it. People just have these perceptions that it's only certain people who do this, and people will go without. So it's not even like a political thing. It's an ideology.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And well, I take it back. I will say my initial point was that at least with the shooting of this healthcare CEO, I was saying that a deep blue and deep red, nobody was like, hey, you don't do that to a CEO. A lot of people were at least understanding of why that happened.
And now CEOs have gotten extra protection. You hear that?
Right, and they're taking their likenesses and their information off of Wikipedia.
Is
and
that
all that kind of
right?
stuff.
Off
Is that
the
right?
websites. And
Rather
stuff.
than
Is that right?
fixing the problem.
Yeah.
They're hiding.
Yes, but Erica, your point is absolutely taken. That yes, that messaging is now so deep that it has become an ingrained ideology that even the people that paid into a system don't want it. Because if that's the case, wouldn't car insurance be considered a handout?
Yeah, it's pure
But I don't know.
manipulation.
That is an ideology because I'm a very prideful person and I'm on unemployment. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm not ashamed to say that. I need extra help to take care of my family. I went from a position of here to nothing, and I
Right.
need some help, and I paid
That's
into
what
it,
it's
and that's
for.
exactly what it's for. So it might be an ignorance thing, to be honest with you. If you worked for this country and you paid your taxes, that's what this country is for, to help you out, get you back on your feet. It's not to suck on that tit the rest of your life. It's to get you back on your feet. And I'm taking advantage of that.
But so is the Affordable Care Act. And
Yeah.
people who needed it voted against it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to get gutted now. And I think, Jeff, there's a lot of the messaging that we're talking about, yes, comes from YouTube and the internet, but also comes from your house and like who your dad was and and what you heard as a kid. And if you hear somebody, remember the old school, the Schroeder's hanging off the government dole, that like kind of old school, but that's like not. You as a kid, that just gets burned in your brain. You never add if you don't have something go without, but that ideology doesn't take into account that you have paid into that system
Yeah.
for decades.
Let's talk about Social Security if you
Right.
want to go there.
Right. And
Let's
now
talk about
the
that.
idea of them floating very seriously now.
Very seriously.
The idea of taking away people's Social Security.
But they already spent that money, though.
What, our Social Security?
I
mean,
don't know.
it's-
Maybe now we're jumping into different politics. But
look, it's a real thing.
worth,
and
what, 35? What are we in debt? What's our debt count?
Some trillion.
Is it 35 trillion?
But the Social
is it that
Security
much?
is supposed to be there for the people.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
anybody.
that
We
money.
paid
I think
for
that
it.
money was spent. I'm just saying. Who knows? Now we're jumping into conspiracy theories. But
All right. Well, let's move on. What was the next topic we were jumping into? Good one, Tori.
I'm not in charge.
I know. I forgot.
You should
it.
never.
Like, where's your phone, Al?
I know.
Jamie Foxx
Oh.
getting hit by glass, needing stitches.
Okay.
Wait, so
go ahead.
wait. Okay, so I understand y'all already talked about the Jamie Foxx special.
Yes.
But
That was
did you
good.
guys watch it?
I did.
Okay, so I was the only one who watched it. I loved it. I didn't
Yeah.
see a lot of people being like, "This is the best." I was like really inspired.
Yeah.
I was really moved. I cried like 3 times.
Yeah.
I got super excited, and then by the end, I was so motivated. I was appreciative. I wanted to go to church. Like all of it. I'm not kidding.
Right. No.
I was
Seriously.
really, and then I didn't see a lot of that. I'm not online that much, but I didn't see a lot of that. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I haven't heard a ton about it, but I watched it, and same. Like, I thought that it was so impactful because you're thinking about a guy who was like on death's doorstep, and he was unable to communicate. He was unable to walk on his own, and all these things. And he is back in a way that is, I mean, he's already such a miraculous human and talent, but to see him on that stage do all of the things, the impersonations, the singing, the jokes, the impromptu stuff, like his daughter, bringing his daughter on stage,
man.
all of that was like, I mean, it was so motivating. And it was like almost like it wasn't just a stand-up show, which would have been great. It was like almost like a variety act featuring one person.
Right.
And it also spoke to the idea that so many people were on this conspiracy that he was a clone. Like, would this person as a clone be able to do all of these things as Jamie Foxx? And I just thought it was so well done. I didn't see a ton.
Me neither, and I was
I saw no
They're-
advertising.
they're-
No,
Nope.
and no one
advertising.
really talked about it, or I didn't see much until the situation at Mr. Chow's happened in Beverly Hills, where he got hit with glass, like
Yeah.
someone threw glass at him, and he needed
Right.
stitches.
Well, 2 things. One, just regarding the special, I thought everybody had the same reaction as you and Jeff. Just, oh my God, look, this person is really taking us back to almost the days of vaudeville, where it's a one-person show where they were like, I literally sing, dance, do everything. And my girl was saying that there was a lot of pushback because there was a lot of pushback online saying, I tune into comedy shows to laugh. I don't want all this.
Oh,
Talk.
really? I loved
A lot of people had issues.
Did
with
you
it.
watch it?
Not yet, because I know it's going to make me cry, Jeff. That's why
I told you
too.
to
And
go
I
watch
know
it. Did you watch it?
No, I can't. I'm
I'm
gonna
never
cry.
sharing my feelings with you
I
guys
really
again.
want to see it. I'm
I
like, my girl was like, "Do you want to watch it?" I was like, "Oh."
I don't know. I'm already. My dog is dying. My mom.
I told you
don't
to give you motivation.
I know. And you
Don't
know-
ask me for anything ever again, you two. Me and Erica, you call me.
Well, Jeff, did you look into the situation at Miss? Because this was only a few days after we had that, just like that glowing review from you about the initial stand-up special. The next time I saw Jamie Foxx's face on TMZ is that he was recovering from an incident at Mr. Chow's in which he was hit in the face and was cut, apparently.
Another table. So someone from
Right.
another table.
Well, it was
threw-
apparently they were above it was the
Right.
the
Jackass
Productions was having their holiday party at whatever the above, the above part that's like reserved
Balcony.
for parties. The above balcony.
No, Al, we don't all go Mr. Chow.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you guys don't know, Mr. Chow's is like the big celebrity hot
I've
spot
never
in
been there, but I
Hollywood.
drove past it one time. I was like, "Oh, there's Mr. Chow's." I know exactly.
You drove
Yeah,
past
because
it
it's
once.
in a part of LA where it's like so rich, you would never be in that area for any reason.
It's like the height of Beverly
Yes,
Hills.
it really is. But so apparently, I was basing it off of like Dave and Buster's. Like they'll have like sometimes the second level.
Yeah.
But apparently they were up there kicking it, having their holiday party, and Jamie Foxx's party, and Erica, I don't know if you've read this. Correct me if I'm wrong. He says that they used a laser pointer that had the outline of a penis.
Right.
And
On
they
his
laser
table.
they
A dick
laser
laser?
point a dick laser on the table to make the outline of a penis. And
And he was there with
so
his
you
family.
you press a button and it makes a penis.
Yeah,
shape.
you figured it out.
Oh, I thought it was
Okay.
just I thought it was the
No.
hole was the pointer.
No.
Oh, see,
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, see,
No, it
I thought it
makes
was just
the
a laser
penis.
pointer, and they were laser pointing like they were in a sniper. See, I looked at it as like a real old school
See,
laser
what,
pointer.
what do you mean you figured out? We're all on different pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a projector.
Why would the
of a
laser
penis.
itself
How
be
about
shaped
that?
like a
Penis.
A
penis?
penis
Yeah.
projector. And so
It's funny just by
Jamie
itself.
apparently took exception to,
Well, it was his birthday
to
with-
this,
yeah.
and,
And
his
he was there
children
with
were
his
there.
family.
Right, he was there with the fam bam, and
Yeah.
so he
not that part, just in general.
right, and
In
so
your buddy's garage,
Jeff
not Mr.
likes it.
Chow's. Yeah.
Right, and so apparently he went up to the VIP section and was like, "Yo, what's up with this?" And they were like, it seemed like they were like, "Yo, Jamie, what up? Where do we want?" And he was like with his family and not.
Having
He
it.
was in a much different mood
Yeah,
than
yeah.
they were probably 9 drinks in, as you should be at a holiday party. And so they said that eventually a disturbance took place, and Jamie was hit with a pretty significant.
So they threw it on purpose.
Yeah.
I thought it
Yes.
was a mistake too.
I mean, it's hard to throw
Yeah.
a glass
Well,
somebody's face on purpose.
I thought they like dropped it and then like some hit it.
When would you ever drop a glass?
I've
Tori?
dropped many a
At
glass
Mr.
with
Chow's?
all of the- How many times have I dropped a glass in front of you?
Yeah, let's not put
Oh,
that past.
but
Tori.
over a balcony,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can say
Yeah.
Tori would definitely do that.
I would say
that'd be. But
Mr. Owls.
I will say this: the people from the Jackass party say that although they respect Jamie Foxx, they said that his recounting of the events is very different from theirs. So I didn't.
Well, what's
I didn't,
not different though is that a man was hit in the face
Right.
with glass. So regardless of
was
what
an
went
assault.
down, somewhere like regardless of what was said, something was done, and what was done was criminal. So I don't really care what the recounting is.
What do you
You
think?
can't go around throwing glasses at people's faces.
I'm with you.
And BP Beverly Hills police are now conducting a preliminary investigation.
As they should.
No
It's
arrests were made.
assault.
Right. Now, he did
Like,
say...
that's ridiculous.
Of the incident, this is what Jamie said. The devil is busy, quote, but I'm too
Always.
blessed to be stressed.
You better say that.
Oh, I love saying that. Maybe I
Yeah.
should watch
What
it.
do you guys
Too
think?
blessed
We have been
to be
to
stressed.
many a holiday party, many a party,
No one liked that.
many a formal dinner. What do you think happened, Tori? Because I think they were hammered. He wasn't. They were like, "Hey, come up here and party with us." He was like, "No."
And
then
someone
they
just
flashed
threw a
a
glass at
penis, and I think that it was a confluence of two different energies.
Oh.
I'm back in my life, in my body. I'm here with my family, taking this moment in, and they were drunk, wanting to kick it.
I mean,
and I feel like the two parties met, and Jamie was assaulted. That's what I because it didn't seem like there was any beef before this.
Well, no, it's just what happens when people are drunk. Like, you do stupid things, you make stupid decisions. Like, there's no, you know exactly what happened. If you're sitting there with your family, including your minor child, and someone is projecting a penis on your table and probably on your face, let's be honest, then, and your child is sitting there and you go up, I don't care, like, if he said, like, y'all need to cut it the F out. Like, I don't care what he said. It's true. Like, why are you at a place or space like that? We talked about this, or I've talked about this so many times. Like, it drives me so crazy when you go somewhere. It's the ultimate form of privilege to go somewhere underdressed, underrepresented, and acting an ass. This is not the time or place. We aren't in a dive bar. Like,
You're at
what's
Mr.
going on here?
Right. You're
Like,
in one of
there's
the most
no
exclusive
expectation that
restaurants in the
something's
country.
about to. And then on top of it, and I know I'm speculating, but you also have to consider that Jamie is a black man in Beverly Hills at a nice restaurant. Now he's gone up to say something, and now it's caused a scene, which results in him having to leave to go to the hospital. You know what that feeling's like when you are one of the only ones in a place like that, and then all of a sudden somebody gets bouted, and you're in the middle of that.
It's uncomfortable. Yeah.
Everybody's looking at you. Plus, everybody's looking at him anyway because he is the most famous person there. So I don't even know what we're talking about
Wouldn't
here.
you have said to Jamie, let your management go up there? I want him to be safe. I wish he had. I want him
Who
to
knows
not go up
if
there.
the manager was even? It
Yeah, I
said that he
know.
was there
I
with his
know.
family.
You're right, and there was
he
a
is
penis.
the patriarch of his family.
You're right, and there was
Jeff,
a
would you
penis.
have gone up?
Yeah, if my kids were there, yeah, and I was getting embarrassed at a nice restaurant or any restaurant, you'd have to say something. But I don't know where my mind's going, and I shouldn't talk like this, but I'm about cause and reaction. And Jamie Foxx did not cause that. He reacted.
Right.
And then he ended up getting the glass in his face. To me, you should have carte blanche to put your fist through that guy's face who threw that at you. I'm serious. The old days of people fearing anybody are gone. They're just like, go ahead and touch me, Jimmy Foxx, because I'll take everything you got. They stand there with their chin out, laughing, putting that dick on your face, begging you to do something. We need to bring
saw
back
this with the troll and Jason Kelsey.
It's just everything.
Oh, right.
People are just begging people. They're the cause of the problem. The other person reacts, and then all of a sudden, you're the victim. Talk about taking things in your own hands these days. That's where I'm going. I'm
Jeff
not
and I are
trusting the
from
government.
Chicago.
Wait a minute.
There's a different type of street
Yeah,
justice.
yeah.
Yeah,
happening.
and I'm all for it. I know I'm a
gotta look the
46-year-old
other
man
way.
and I'll get my ass kicked, but it's like there's a certain amount, a level of respect, and I'm done people being the cause of a problem and then playing the victim of it after. Those days are over. Those days are over. There's going to be a lot more holidays are here, a lot more back alley getting one right in the face and you don't know who did it. And guess what? I was looking and I don't know who did it
I
either,
didn't
buddy.
see
You
anything.
deserved it, right? I saw you throw a glass at Jimmy Foxx and now you're on the floor. Whoops, I didn't see anything.
See, I've never seen a fight ever.
I can't see
You've
anything.
never seen a fight?
I can't
Never.
see anything because your legs are blinding
I
the
know,
studio.
I know. I thought the same thing. I was covering them before.
Oh.
No, they're really white. They're like blue white.
They're
but
so
I
white, a sound was coming out of them.
I know it's like a white
Sound
noise.
therapy.
Are your legs controlling the drones?
So white. Can I be honest? They're like
I'm
Casper.
kidding. I'm
But
kidding.
I've never seen a fight in my whole life. I've
Really?
always wondered what I would do in a fight. What would I do?
Get your ass kicked.
You just get
I
up
bet-
and move.
Are you
Never
scrappy?
seen a
I think
fight.
I'd be scrappy as
No,
hell.
you wouldn't.
No.
Trust me,
Fists
I've
up.
been in a fight before. You don't want to be anywhere.
No.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Exactly.
Right. A lot of times you don't even know that the fight is. It's just like you're like, why are they moving those chairs around over there? It's
No,
like,
I
and then
know.
you like
Like an
realize.
always know. It's the only time that I ever threatened to break up with my husband. We weren't married at the time. We were dating, but it was the only time that I was like, we can't be together. Because you can feel the energy when there's about to be a fight.
Absolutely.
And my natural instinct is to run the other direction because if you don't know what the situation is, like, are people going to pull out weapons? Is it going to become like a huge brawl? Like,
Bottles.
right.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
seen
Things
this.
get thrown. I almost got hit in the face with a champagne bottle at a nightclub one time. So I'm always like, I have to get out. And so a huge fight happened. I was living in Sacramento at the time. It was a huge Halloween party. And I saw this fight. I saw the beginning of a fight. And I was holding hands with Anthony and I took off to run. And then I was like yanked back because Anthony just stood there. And I was like, we gotta go. And he's like, why? And I'm like, they're about to fight. And then he's like, yeah. So he starts walking towards the fight. And
He's
and I go,
Canadian. He's Canadian.
wanted
and I
better
said,
seats.
I go, we gotta go. We have to get out of here. And he's like, why? I want to see the fight. I'm like, no, you don't understand. We're not going to see a fight. We're going to be in the middle of a fight. And he's like, I'm not running out of here. I ran out of that building. I ran all the way home and someone was stabbed in the middle of that fight.
Oh my God.
I ran home. And then when he got back home, he was like, I can't believe you overreacted. And I said, I didn't overreact. I'm like, I know where you're from, but you don't understand where I'm from. People start to fight and now somebody's pulled out a gun. People get trampled. You can get stabbed. I'm like, there's all sorts of things happening. And I'm like, I don't think that we're on the same page here. It's really deep for me. Like, you
Wow.
cannot jeopardize my safety.
Your fight and flight is there.
Oh my gosh.
my homie got us a limo back when that was a big deal. when I lived in Rhode
You had
Island. for Halloween.
$70?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still down with a limo.
Dude, we went to Boston.
You're such a white limo guy. I'm so sorry.
Hey, I'm down with like an old
Al's
school
the
limo.
one who brought it up.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just
Why
saying.
make it into race thing?
Dude, I'm just
Black
giving
people
it
don't take
back.
limos, dude?
Black people only take white limos. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's
But
it.
we took this limo up to Boston, like to some Halloween party, and there was a fight. This is back when like the Patriots were just starting to get good in the early 2000s, and this guy in a Gronk jersey knocked out this guy that was the pepper of a salt and pepper, like knocked him unconscious, and we just drove by in slow motion as this pepper was flat on his back, unconscious. I was like, God wanted me to see that. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I
in my
wanna
life.
shoot,
Yeah.
baby.
Whoa! Just an unconscious. It's like you had to wake this guy up. I mean, he was fine, but I mean, he caught a nice one. But yeah, you're not missing anything, Tori. But
I've never
I did
heard
want
a
to ask a
punch.
quick question
Yeah,
because
sorry.
we did. I went to my
Ooh,
girl.
that sound though. When you
I've
hear
never heard a punch.
that someone get punched in the
Like a
face,
a
it's
cheek.
Ooh, it's a sound.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. The sound of bone. I've seen a lot of surgeries, and like the thing with anything
Why
that
have
has
you seen surgeries?
because I was
was
pre-med.
pre-med.
Okay,
I used to.
that's
I
a
used-
good response.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
hold on.
salt and pepper and salt and pepper are
Yeah.
two different things. I didn't want to dwell on that.
No, he's saying salt and pepper.
No, salt and pepper.
You think,
like on the
they were
table.
dressed up like
I thought
salt
you were
and
like
pepper?
Halloween, like the shoot people.
You thought I was at a very progressive.
You mean like a salt pepper shoot?
Yes.
Oh, I apologize.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I cannot
And
believe
the other
that
woman's
you-
name isn't Salt.
I know, but together they're salt and pepper.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah, it
her
is
name
salt.
is
It
Salt.
is Salt.
Oh yeah. What
It's
you're
not
making
pepper.
sure.
I screwed up the joke.
wait.
I
Hold
screwed
on.
up
Here, Jeff. What was the DJ's name?
DJ. Oh man.
It'll come to-
Cinderella.
Spinderella.
Spinderella.
Yes,
There we
close.
go.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ.
Push it
All right.
real
Yeah.
good.
So
Oh, I
yeah.
think Salt follows me.
Really?
Shout out Salt.
What's her name?
Salt?
No.
Her name's Salt. It's wine. Whoever wants to know what's in the cup, it's wine, okay?
Yes,
I'm
Tori-
alone drinking the wine.
I prefer that my patients don't have a vat of wine before we have a discussion. What's that from?
What is that from?
You should know this.
I know. I prefer my people.
Analyze this.
Oh, that's such a good
He
one.
says Scotch, but
De Niro
yeah.
and
yeah.
Crystal.
She does.
Her name
follows you?
Follow-
Yeah.
What about Pepper?
Cheryl Salt James.
What about Pepper?
Send her that story about Tori thought Peppa got knocked out.
Yeah, did you think that wouldn't have been the highlight?
Make me laugh. My face hurt.
Yeah, do you think I wouldn't help Peppa if she was being assaulted? Like, hey, that's from my favorite rap group. Well,
Peppa gets knocked out.
What are the condiment fights?
I
doing?
do want to ask this because went to my girlfriend's holiday party this weekend. Colorado Rockies, very lovely, really, it was just nice. You know, like it's well put together as you would expect. But I was telling her that the holiday parties that I went to 10 or 15 years ago,
Dude.
as opposed to even the holiday parties our parents went to.
How about the ones we went to in the beginning?
Can
of
you
DTAD?
imagine think for a second what a holiday party in 1984 was like?
Oh my
Oh my God,
God.
Can you
cocaine,
imagine?
Sex
Oh my
in the
God.
closet.
Well, I
with
was in
randos.
radio in the early 2000s, and I was at B96, so that was like a big radio station in
Right.
Chicago. And we would have our holiday parties at nightclubs. Like,
Yes?
It would be like in the VIP
That's
section
awesome.
at like the hottest nightclub on a Friday night.
That is so cool.
Well, and now
That is so
we have
neato.
drink tickets, and I understand the premise behind drink tickets. I don't think that they're really trying to limit you, but I think they're trying to let you know we're monitoring your drinks. And if you need more drinks, it's kind of looked at, because if you have to go, can I have some drink tickets? It's meant to shame you into not drinking too much.
No, it's taking the responsibility off the company.
It's the liability of them
That's
driving
all it
home
is.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you 2 drinks.
And then
thanks for
whatever
working
you-
all year. You
Right.
want some more? That's on you.
There's no bonus for
we
you.
just washed
sucker.
our hands of
But
that.
is that a good thing?
No.
And my question is, and Jeff, I want you to expound on that. Do you think you need a year, like one day a year, to blow off all the tension in the office, all the sexual tension that's there? They're
oh
human
Lord,
beings.
that's exactly why.
I
this
know.
hasn't
I'm
happened.
being serious. Like
I would love if we had one
Should
big
there
one.
be a couple hours where you just kind of really let loose? Because I don't feel like anybody at the party I was at let loose.
They're scared. People
they
are
should
scared.
be.
Yeah. I don't want to let loose with strangers or people I think are gunning for me in some sort of weird, whatever social way. You know, it's like, no. I know what you believe, and I know what you think I believe, but we're not having this here. I'll have my 2 drinks and I'm bouncing.
So there's
I'm
no
not doing
so
that in front of other
I
people.
hear you, and I
You
understand
know what I
why.
mean?
Yeah, of course.
And it's not like I get crazy. I'm throwing bottles at Jamie Foxx.
Right.
I just want to have fun without someone being like, could you believe Jeff yesterday was talking to Sam and Sam looked at Erica and you see that? Oh my God. Yeah. And you were the one that was hammered and I was fine. You know what I mean?
Someone said camera phones everywhere. But what about like bonding?
That's not bonding.
It's over.
I think that's
over.
not bonding. Office Christmas party is not bonding.
I like when I got really wasted and I karaoke'd and I thought I was bonding, but you're saying I wasn't.
It's not bonding.
Okay.
It absolutely is not.
What is it?
It's embarrassing.
It's forced socialization, because if you don't go, then you're kind of like, oh, well, they don't, they're too good, or, they don't want to be around us past, being at work. And then if you do go and you have too much of a good time, then you're talked about from now until forever about that night that you did X, Y, and Z in front of everybody that you worked with. And the idea that bonding has to involve alcohol is just antiquated anyway. So I think a lot of companies
It's either that or a ropes course.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, honestly,
yeah.
I think the idea is that companies are now either taking it out because of budget restraints. Most of them are blaming budget because nobody has any money anymore. Or they're taking it out because it's too much of a liability.
Yeah.
Because most places you do not have, the people at work are not your friends. Al says it all the time. We were in a different situation, but that was us, the host, because we were in a different situation. But in the grand scheme of things, no, and you see it when people leave companies. Like, you start to see the segments start to move into certain places because the only thing that was bringing you together was that you showed up in the same place at the same time and got paid by the same person.
See, that makes me so sad. I used to think that's where people met, and I met my husband that way. And there's a sense of camaraderie that isn't there anymore, and everyone's sort of scared. And I understand why, and you're right, and we should be. But I miss the idea.
Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
What the last job that you had before DBL?
Okay.
How
Shotgun
many people?
That's a strip club.
How many of those people come to your house, call you, text you? How many of those people are you in communication with and consider good friends?
I have one, but that's it from almost all of the other.
And how often do you
like we
communicate with that
Instagram
person?
friends? Yeah, we're like
So,
Instagram.
on
never.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, it's Erica.
I'm just
What
sad.
was the point of that exercise for Tori to feel
know.
horrible about herself?
No, I'm just.
Do you
I'm
have
proving
anybody
the
calling
point
you?
that you're like, oh,
When
all
was
of
the
these
last time you
people
talked
are
to
my
a friend? Well, now you say it. It's been a couple of years.
Nick, do you have that?
No, I was simply proving my point that people. Stop.
Do you know anybody that loves you? No,
Let me see
I
your
don't.
phone.
My
No missed
face.
calls. Go. I'm scrolling.
Y'all.
No one.
You haven't sent a text message this month.
Stop making me laugh so hard. My face is completely lasered. Remember,
Someone goes, Tori's face.
remember,
was so
my
sad.
face is lasered. And it's super
I
stretched.
think, Erica, the
My
problem
point-
is you slow walked it through it.
Yeah.
And of that, what's their last name? You don't know, do you? Okay.
But no,
And-
it was
oh,
the
look,
point.
they have you muted. You can check that. So really, you don't.
The point
That was
of
great.
the whole thing was that people get close because they're proximity close. That doesn't necessarily
friends.
mean that you're friends, and you blur those lines all the time, and it kind of diminishes what friendship actually is.
Yeah, I'm with you though, Tori. I do, because I'm a guy who likes to have fun.
Me
You know
too.
what I
I
mean?
like
And I
company
like to get a little
parties.
wild, and not wild where I'm discriminatory or going crazy or throwing glasses. Right. I like to just have.
Discriminatorily wild.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or like, just say
Racist.
when you, because now people just jump to the conclusion. Like, what do you do when you get drunk? You take your clothes off? No, I don't do that. Nobody. I just have a good time, and we do karaoke, and it's fun.
We
and
talk
I think it's
deep shit.
nice to, if someone that you're a coworker with all year is kind of quiet, and then they kind of let their hair down a little bit, or their short hair, whatever it is, that's an
Yeah.
expression. Now, it's all these terms like that I'm scared to say, and I don't mean anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, let your hair down. I have short hair for a reason, because I'm like, holy shit, man,
Yeah.
get away from me, or whatever, ma'am, or whatever you like to be called. I'm not down. I don't want to get in trouble anymore. And so I don't like to socialize. You know what I mean? Stay away from me. If I can see you a mile away coming and I already know you're looking for trouble, I'm out of here. I'm running.
I will
You're like
say
Eric
this.
at a fight.
I don't think
because I already know the social trouble, and people just want to get that got you. Hey, Jeff's been on Big Brother and this and that. Let me
gotta
just
be
pop this
careful.
while he's having a little drink and letting his hair down and having fun with a coworker. Let me just do that to blacklit so I could get a couple likes tomorrow and put that on my Instagram. It's not worth it for me anymore to do that. I'll stay home with my family, and my neighbors are cool. If you guys want to come over, that's cool. But for some people that are on the fence, I'm like, I never really trusted you anyway. You're never coming over. You're out for life.
Well, in the world of phones, I think it's as extreme as Jeff sounds. I think that's probably the situation. In terms of like not go. Well, part of holiday parties and just parties in general where people did get a little wild, you know, pre like everything being, we'll call this pre-Kramer, because I think before Kramer,
Great call.
people didn't film everything. I felt like that was the first time I saw, especially a celebrity go ham. And when was that? 2007,
I think it was
11,
before
whenever.
that.
But before that, the world that existed before that was just like, oh, Erica, she works in accounts receivable. I wouldn't be thinking she's going to get something on me at this party. I think that there was a different way that people live life. I always say like you know, people are like, oh, are we going to move to a different planet and life beyond Earth? I feel like I already am on a different planet. Like than things were than like 2011. Like nobody took their job seriously.
Every
and,
generation
like,
feels this way, though, I think.
it feels very
younger
different
one.
now.
Yeah.
And I feel like having a place that you felt like you could blow off steam in almost a public place, a party or something like that, it did mean something. I feel like everybody is very bottled up for good reason.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like
the currency is changed. The currency exchange.
Yes.
Which also isn't around anymore. I don't
Yeah.
think currency
gotta be-
exchange.
At the airport?
There's a well, no, like the actual brand, the currency exchange.
What is
that a
that?
Where you used to like
You would.
get your money orders or
No,
checks
that's
or
still
something like
there.
that? Yeah,
You go
there's
to
got to be a couple,
There's
right?
currency exchanges.
Yeah.
There's got to be a
Yeah, in
couple.
Mexico.
Okay.
I don't really understand.
No, not the
that.
actual
It's
currency.
like
Is it
currency
Peppa?
exchange would be like, okay, I'm getting paid on Friday. I know my check is going to be $200. I'm going to go and give them my personal check, and they're going to give me $200, or they're going to give me $150 because I gave them my check for $200.
Yeah, there's that
That's the
card that
currency
does that
exchange.
now.
I didn't know that.
What's the
Oh,
card
you
that goes?
Oh, my.
We pay you three.
That's like if you
3
don't have a
days
bank
ahead of your
account or something
paycheck.
like that,
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
would
know.
get your
That's old
checks
school.
cashed
Yeah.
there, and then they would take a percentage of your check, and that was called a
Right.
currency exchange.
Right. So to give you cash, they take a piece
part
of
of
that.
it. I see.
Yeah.
Weren't they yellow? Like they're
Yeah,
yellow?
yeah.
You're talking about Western Union?
Well, Western Union was. I
Are
think
you
you
at
could
banks?
do that.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
But currency exchange was an actual brand.
I remember currency
somebody
exchange.
on YouTube.
Oh, it's called
Let me know.
Chime now.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
Okay.
say. Chime. It's like they give you your paycheck up to 3 days before
Yeah,
you
but
get
this
paid.
was an actual building that you walked into with bulletproof,
Bulletproof
glass.
glass. Yeah, why did I know
Yeah,
that?
I
well,
am
that was
from
West,
it.
and I'll tell you, I've been
Yeah, it's
in many
Western
of
Union.
those. Like my dad would send me some money just when you had nothing, and you be in line with you be in line with the people.
Interesting characters.
Yeah, interesting characters,
Yeah.
and I feel like again, not to beat it to death, but I do think that helps round out your character to realize that everybody isn't like you, everybody doesn't look like you, they're not eating in the same place as you. Everybody in the world doesn't go to a place where they describe their lettuce as being sourced from somewhere. So a lot of times people are from all different parts of walks of life, and there used to be check cash in places. There used to be the mall where it's almost like a zoo for human beings, where you're just like, oh, look at all these different people.
A zoo?
It is, because if you think about the curated life,
This whole planet's a zoo for
think
human beings.
think about the curated life that everybody lives now. You go to yoga, it's your yoga studio in your part of town. You shop in that part of town. You get your anything that you don't want to go get, you get dropped off. You could probably believe that most of the world looks like the people at your Whole Foods. And most of it does not. And most of it has never heard of your neighborhood, has never hung out or listened to the
That's
music
why you
do.
travel.
And I think there was places where you used to be forced, but also it was normalized to just be around people that weren't you.
I just want to give a shout out to Michi, who says there's still currency exchanges in Chicago and the suburbs. Maybe it was
Maybe
a
it's a
regional
Chicago thing.
Money Tree in California. they
Yeah,
said.
I think that there was a lot of like
Okay.
check
Well,
cashing
anyway,
places.
the
Yeah.
reason
No.
why I was saying currency has changed
Okay.
is because there's an actual get that people receive by hanging someone someone else out to dry. Like it may be likes, it may be you get the right person, there's money involved in getting the right person in the wrong moment. So once that happened, it changed the game for everyone. Now, the interesting thing is that's when people stop going to the third place, which is generally the nightclub, the bar, you know, wherever you're hanging out, and they started bringing it into the house. But Diddy changed that. So I think
baby oil.
At that point, it's like, you know, we're safe.
That's a great point, and I did wonder that because I think as this Diddy thing, and we're going to get into how it relates to Jay-Z in a second, but I do think the broader scope is with the Diddy situation where there were a lot of A-list celebrities hanging out. It makes sense because if you are an A-list celebrity in 2011, you know, you probably don't want to go to a nightclub because you're going to get mobbed and like, oh my God, Erica Cobb, I'm your biggest fan. Erica Cobb wants to just have a glass of wine with the girls too. Jeff Schroeder just wants to hang out too. And so you would go to a place where everybody's an A-list celebrity or everybody's a pro athlete.
Right.
And so you don't stand out. What did Cheer say? You know, a place where everybody just knows your name and it's not weird. I think that's the other line.
That's not the line.
But I do think that I wonder now that you can't be in the house and now that you can't be out the house, what do you do if you're a person that has any kind of celebrity or just a person that, even if you don't have celebrity, has something to lose by being filmed, even just drunk? You used to be able to get drunk at a bar that had a mechanical bull in it.
Well,
I don't think you can do that now.
That's
That's
also
my bachelorette.
why, because, I mean, when you think about how people, like, let's say, of means, like of affluence or whatever, how they'll socialize, a lot of times it's not a mansion with like, because let's keep in mind, if you have hundreds of people at a party, you don't know who they all are, and they all don't have the equal amount to lose in terms of reputation or money or whatever. So I think people have just socialize in smaller, more curated groups, and I'm totally down with that.
But how are you going to meet new people?
The what?
How are you going to meet new people?
Why you need no new friends?
Isn't your line no new friends?
I know, yeah.
He doesn't like
but
any
it's
new
just,
friends.
it's weird.
When you're 22, is that your line though?
No, hell no.
Right.
I love meeting people.
Me
I love
too.
traveling. But it's like, there's a level of like, we've gotten to this place where everyone just wants the gotcha moment. You know, and everyone, again, wants to be the victim of every scenario. I don't know why we've gotten to that place, but if I sniff for a second, you're going to be a victim in any scenario, I'm so turned off by you. I have a lot of knowledge to give about things. I have a lot of stories to tell. I have a lot of love to give. You'll never receive any of that because I know what your intentions are. Your intentions are none of those. Your intentions are to play the victim. If I'm having a drink at a party, I'm like, hey man, I haven't seen you in a while. I really like you. Oh my God, I was so uncomfortable and Jeff touched my back.
Yeah.
No, that'll never happen because you'll never be there with me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
And that's a sad thing, you know, because I want to get along with my friends' parents or my kids' parents and things like that. But I could smell. I know it now.
Right.
You stink like it.
Okay.
You just stink that you want something else other than love or stories or knowledge or maybe give me some advice. I see you coming from a mile away now, and it's sad because I've shut off to that part of the world. But I'm smarter and I'm more generous with my time with the people that I love.
All right. Well, while we're on the topic of Diddy, we only got about 10 minutes left, but so we'll be succinct and curt. But I feel like we should discuss this. I love using the word curt.
Kurt Russell.
Because curt just means that, like, I feel like that's a word your dad would use
My dad says terse.
Oh, that's a good one.
He says terse a lot.
I like obtuse.
Remember brevity and terse. Be terse, Tor.
I don't know what
I
that
thought
means.
terse was
What's
bad.
Terse?
Terse is short. Just
Yeah, curt
remember.
and terse just means like, it's like if you were at a restaurant you shouldn't be at and they just be like, here's the wine menu, and they walked away, you'd be like, oh, he was pretty curt with me.
Yeah, a little terse.
Like, yeah, it's like a fancy way of saying like he was short.
If I was at a
Yeah.
table and someone said terse, I'd be like,
Yeah.
You're shooing a lot of people away.
oh yeah,
Old school
about
black women would say
90%,
short.
about 95.
Yeah,
just the word terse, I'm turned off. You're not coming over.
I'm turned off that you don't know terse.
Well, I'm turned off.
Wait,
that you
it's
think
terse.
you're
It's not tersed.
You can be tersed.
No, you cannot.
I was like, you did it.
Yeah, she added that,
That little
right at
hit
the end.
there.
Okay, well, let's talk
I'm
about
kidding,
this.
I'm kidding.
This is serious, but I do. We give every important story the breadth that it deserves. The accuser, the 13-year-old unnamed accuser, she was 13 at the time of the alleged assault, who alleges that Jay-Z and Diddy assaulted her the night of the VMAs.
A rape allegation.
Yeah, rape allegation.
Yeah.
Sexually, essay, you know, that night. And they've done some digging into her story. Her story is basically, and I've read it a couple of times, that she snuck out of the window of her house in Rochester, New York, which if anybody's ever driven Rochester to New York City, which I have, that's I-90, that is a haul, bruh. Yeah. That is literally the top of the country. Yeah, 5.5 hours.
I know a couple people from Rochester.
Yeah, shout out Rochester. It's a fun little city.
Yeah.
It's called Photo City, I think, because Kodak was started there.
But we digress.
We
Terse.
digress. Okay.
Terse.
Terse.
I'm a little thirsty.
So she says that she hitched a ride to New York City to watch the VMAs.
That her friend drove.
That her friend drove her to the VMAs to watch the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall outside on the Jumbotron. The friend that corroborated that drove her is apparently dead now. Some problems with that story is that year they did not air the VMAs on the Jumbotron outside. And she said her dad came to pick her up, and her dad says, I do not recall driving 5 hours to pick you up. She also said the assault took place in a white house with a U-shaped driveway. That residence cannot be found. And she said she talked to the lead singer and the guitarist from Good Charlotte, Benji Madden, and their manager was like, well, they were on tour in London. They were on tour in the Midwest, I think they said. So that's not good.
A lot
either.
of holes
so
there. Interesting.
The person that drove her there is dead. The person that picked her up doesn't remember doing that. The Jumbotron did not exist, and there are photos of Diddy and Jay-Z at that at a nightclub after the VMAs and not at a mansion. So Tony Busby is still proceeding forward with this accusation. Erica, what were your thoughts after you read this?
I mean, it's really, y'all know how I feel about these things because I believe that victims should be believed. But I also believe that, much to the point of what we were talking about earlier, unfortunately, everybody who comes forward to say that they're a victim cannot necessarily be believed, which only is a hindrance to justice for real victims. Like, until we get to a place in the judicial system where we are taking actionable steps and prosecuting people for false claims, we will always be in this mess. And it really pisses me off.
It should.
It pisses me off because it's like, it's so difficult for a survivor to come forward and state their story. And then when the waters get so muddy, and the idea that there are people who are like, well, we're going to proceed forward, attorneys and stuff, we're going to proceed forward with this. And this is, it's like, at what cost? Like, at what cost? So, I mean, I'm not the judge, jury, whatever.
Wouldn't you be in trouble financially if you filed a false insurance claim?
Yes.
That's what, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Jay-Z is now saying, and his lawyer, Alex Spiro, they're shocked that this was able to come so far. And that, to much of what you're saying, if you need a mens reis to create a court case, you need something to be hurt by. And if there's nothing to be hurt by, this is all just a bad rap on Jay-Z's name. So they're kind of shocked the court system has allowed it to go this far with
Quite
so
frankly,
many.
so was I.
Yeah, and a lot of people are, but they're saying the court system is there to fill the holes in if there is holes in the case. Now, she is saying I misremembered several parts, but I still know that this main trauma
Did her
happened.
dad misremember it?
The father is sticking by the story that he did not pick her up.
What are the
doesn't remember it.
repercussions for that? I understand
So
every
that's what I
victim
was-
is not that, and a lot of them are telling the truth, but there should be harsher repercussions
Right, for
if
false-
you're proven that this obviously didn't exist,
Right.
and you just smeared someone's name, and you need to be stopped from Jesse Smollett, Juicy. He faces no charges. They dropped all charges.
know.
And that was a big case, and they wasted a lot of money and time.
Well, there were some
Dropped.
police issues there too. You know what I thought about, Jeff? Kind of
But
similar.
it's like, what if I had nothing but a story and a dream of being famous and
Can I
somehow
go all
and
that
money?
way?
What is stopping me? Nothing. I could do whatever, and I can make up any story I want about anybody and put these details together that are fraudulent. And guess what? I'm just out of the news. nobody knows who I am tomorrow, but everyone doesn't remember that Jay-Z was cleared of that. They just say, oh man, remember he raped that 13-year-old?
That's going to auto-fill in.
It just
every
fills
time.
in, right.
But that's the price you pay for being a public figure.
I don't think
I
that
don't
should
think
be
that's
that.
the price you pay for
Well,
being
you
a
have a
public
higher
figure.
you have a higher level of scrutiny if you are a public figure.
A higher level of scrutiny. Okay, we'll say that he has bad music or hair. Not
Watch your mouth, Erica. Talking to a
I'm
50-year-old
not
black
saying
man
that
over here.
Jay-Z has bad music. I'm just saying, like, scrutiny would be scrutinizing or critiquing his art.
Right.
Not
Or his-
pedophilia.
No, but
Right.
Right.
for defamation.
Those are
Well,
two
you should
different
expect that.
things.
You made 3 good albums. Like, what?
You know
but
what
you
I
can
mean?
you can defame someone with more vigor and more successfully if they are famous, excuse me, because they have the perks of being famous, and therefore you have to pass a certain higher level
And
of
you're
scrutiny.
speaking from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, from a legal standpoint. So Jay-Z,
So
in
you
terms
can
of,
you can publicly
correct,
levy false allegations
more
knowingly
easily,
knowing that they're false.
correct.
Because my first thought, like, honestly, I'm thinking of Aziz. Like, that was crazy on so many levels.
That was
and
the
that wasn't
case.
even, that was when it was really difficult
Right.
to say something against the accuser.
'Cause it was Me
and
Too,
I
remember?
said something, we all said something
Yeah.
pretty much against it, because it was just the most bananas thing, reading the account, to be like, how are we lumping this in with Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, it was like a bad day. Remember
I
that?
think
was-
that was the turn. That was the first time that the public sentiment turned negative towards the Me Too movement, because I think up until then, everybody that had a heart in their body and a brain in their head were like, yeah, some things need to change. This is ridiculous. And
again-
with the Aziz thing, that ruined it. And I hope that this doesn't do the same thing. But the fact that it's pushing on is really upsetting.
Because, Al, there are victims and survivors who we hold space for and we protect.
Right.
And then there are people out there who want to be victimized and persecuted and oppressed so badly. They want that to be their identity.
That's what
and
Jeff
it
was
is a
saying.
shame. Like, it is shameful.
disgusting.
Yeah, it is
And to
shameful.
not call it out, name and shame every time. Because what does this benefit? Who does this benefit? Other than the idea that now you have something that you can hold on to? If you want to be victimized so bad, if you want to be oppressed so bad, like, get into something where you actually are putting something on the line. Don't take someone who has worked so hard their entire lives for everything that they have and put their stuff out on the line. For what? For your own personal, like, does that keep you up? And like, does it make you sleep at night? What is that? I don't understand it.
It should be criminal.
I also think greed is at the center of this with the lawyer. I hope Jay-Z said in no uncertain terms, he's going to feel the wrath of his lawyers. And I think that I think Mr. Busby may have overextended himself. It's already been said by Jay-Z's lawyer that 50 accusers have already been vetted as false. And that's not saying that there aren't. Obviously, we saw the Cassie, Jay-Z has, excuse me, Diddy has a lot to answer for. And that's what I don't want, is him to skate, because his lawyer is way over his skis right now, trying to get everybody to sign up in some kind of mass nonsense class action lawsuit and not getting to the real victims. Jeff, I'm gonna give you the last word.
Happy holidays, everybody.
There we go. And with that, guys, we appreciate you guys joining us here on Daytime Talk After Dark. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys riding with us. We got good things coming. Erica, it seems like something good is coming right now out of your
No,
mouth.
I was just gonna say Happy New Year.
Yes, all right.
Well, I wanted to say it because
It was no, but you were like, I just look
that's
over. I'm
right.
Tori.
Yes.
I'm closing
You
the
were
show,
worried.
and this is what Erica's doing.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever. Kwanzaa,
Kwanzaa.
Hanukkah. Is Hanukkah?
Hanukkah this year, the moon, we are the same date as Christmas.
Oh my goodness!
Same date.
Mazel.
You missed Al's top 2 reasons to like Kwanzaa.
Yeah, last week. That was good.
I'm like, give me the top 5. He goes, I'll give you 2.
And he couldn't come up with a third.
Guys, we appreciate y'all. Obviously, we appreciate you guys watching, loving us all year. We love you guys right back, our night owls. So join us again very soon in the new year. And we got one more show before the new year this Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's
On Friday.
remember.
On
Yes.
Friday,
Yes,
everyone.
Friday.
So someone's saying next Tuesday show, yes or no?
No, it's
I-
Christmas
It's
Eve.
Christmas
but what about
Eve.
Monday?
No, we're done until
wanna
the new
keep
year.
talking.
We're done on Tuesday for the rest of the year, and then we will be back after.
Could I do a rogue show?
Also,
Yeah.
Quinn is from Asheville and saying hi, and I just want to say shout out to Asheville for rebuilding
What is
after
this character
the
you've
storm.
slipped into?
I'm so proud of Asheville.
You're like, she turns into like a city planner. Okay. Guys, thank you for putting up with our foolishness. We love y'all, our night owls. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Or as Jeff said, Kwanzaa. You say, give us some Kwanzaa hot tips. I will never not love you for that. Guys, we love y'all. Thanks for watching. We're out.